I think you pointed out something pretty valuable there, that you guys knew the dynamic of the relationship, but wrestling fans, sometimes they want it to be something else. They want it to be more salacious and more dirt or whatever.
Right.
And so there's this narrative out there that's not accurate. Everyone who involved sort of knows that. Do you think this, as a rule, that's what the quote unquote dirt sheets or the quote unquote smart marks, that's what we're looking for? Is we're looking for the conspiracy. We're looking for somebody getting over on somebody else. It can't just be, well, wrestling relationships are a lot like real relationships. Sometimes they just end.
No, I mean, think about it. You said it. The dirt sheets.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a happy sheet. It's not a clean sheet. They're looking for dirt.
Right.
They're looking for controversy. And if they can't find any controversy, then they make it up and they create it. They create turmoil. They create bullshit and lies and put in things that aren't necessarily there, because that's their job. That's what they do. That's how they make money. Nobody is going to, buy a sheet that has gossip and crap in it if there's no gossip.
Right.
And if there's no dirt, well, God, I gotta make this up somehow. I gotta make this juicier. And I feel that's just what they did. And unfortunately, in some ways, there were times that Dixie would allow herself to feed in to those rumors and innuendo, and would allow herself to almost believe it. Oh my God, did this happen?
Right.
And I heard the folklore, I heard the tale of, oh, this happened, that happened, and everything. If it was as bad as everyone portrayed it to be, I think I would have seen some of that.
Well, part of me thinks, just knowing you from this podcast and just talking about your philosophy towards wrestling and all that, we talked once before about the whole Edge, Matt Hardy, Lita love triangle stuff. And we talked about how, man, you felt like that was a prime opportunity, because here's a story that quote unquote fans know about. Why not lean into that? Why not leverage that? Why not, let's bring them this story. We always want people to sort of suspend their disbelief. So I'm sure you were a big proponent of, hey, if this is what they want to believe, whether it's true or not, and we know it's not true, but if they want to believe it, well, let's give them something to believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The funny thing is they really weren't doing anything with them in that story. When I got there, and again, I know, I don't think that Russo understood as to what extent they wanted me to work in the office. I don't think Eric really understood it to what extent they wanted me to work in the office, or anybody else. Hell, I'm not even sure as to what extent they really wanted. However, in some of those conversations, I would sit when Eric and Russo would be talking about creative, and I would throw out, God, man, you guys, we have a honest to God soap opera living itself out in front of us.
Right.
Why can't we amplify this and tell a story of it? And I was told point blank, no. Absolutely not under any circumstances, that Janice Carter had forbid it, that no one was ever to bring that up. I said, well, she's never said that to me.
Wow, there you go.
So let me try and let me pitch it maybe in a way that, I will say that I think that the way that I pitch things to people is different depending upon my audience.
Right.
And I have a completely different pitch approach than a Vince Russo, an Eric Bischoff, a Vince McMahon, or anybody else. So I was like, at least let me give it a try. And Eric was adamant, no, she won't go for it.
Bischoff was adamant.
Yes. Yes. But he was adamant because he had been told point blank by Janice, we're not doing that. Because Eric wanted to do it. Everybody wanted to do it. And my thing was, I sat down with all three of them, different points, individually. And again, it's like the Eddie Guerrero stuff. You have to preface it with, I get it. This is real life. This is real life for your children. This is real life for you. You're
Right.
picking your kids up from school. You have to live with this. So if you're uncomfortable in any way, I'm not going to take it any further. And all of them were, hey, if it's the right story, yeah, I'll work with anybody. I'll do whatever it is you need me to do. So, that was what I was going on. And eventually we got there. But how we got there was, I knew the edict that Janice had thrown down to Eric. So I knew that kind of Jeff was a little bit on the outs, but I believe Janice was looking to protect Kurt more than anything, and the kids. Really, she was looking to protect the kids. And I understood that. So the roundabout was Eric, and not Eric, Kurt. Maybe you could talk to Janice. Let her know that you're completely fine with this. Let her know that you and Karen have discussed this, and you're cool with Jeff, and on down the line. And eventually, we got to that point where it became their idea,
Right.
and we were able to do a lot more. But I think that it always helps when you have a new voice from outside come in and suggest something where you go, oh, I've never heard that before. And I know those guys have been pitching it for a while. I know that they, had done some things with it, but they were on a short leash. And I just thought that we could get off that leash.